you can argue and debate with me as much as you want about how Montreal got points against an Inter Miami team that did not have Messi, and I do
But
not
they had
want
Boosie, Suarez, and Alba.
Yeah, so still, there's a reason why no Messi, no party was trending. You know,
we're gonna just forget, right? We said this before. El Pistolero, greatest striker of his generation. Boosie, greatest defensive mid of his generation, and then we have Jordi Alba, who not the greatest left back of his generation, but very, very damn close. These aren't scrubs that Messi just brought over to Inter Miami to help him out. These are ballers, bro. Even at 34, 35, 36 years old. And I hate that we're just going to discount what they bring to that team because Messi didn't play. And look, even when Montreal was ass, right, last season, you guys still, the last time you guys met in September, you drew 0-0.
Yeah, in September.
Even when they were dog shit, you guys couldn't beat them.
Okay,
and now they're a better team, and you're saying there's no way Montreal wins.
Name our strikers that we had that season. Just
bro,
name
you
our
have
strikers.
Kuipers now. You still can't find the ball.
Yeah, but dude, come on.
Guti is scoring more goals than your prize striker, right? Which I think he's a hell of a signing. But if you can't give him the ball, what does it matter? Match day 5. And I'm correcting myself because apparently, according to Major League Soccer, this is match day 5, not 4. We run off the Inter Miami schedule, apparently. So match day 5, I am corrected now. Going into these matchups this week, a lot on the table. And I will say this regarding match day 4, technically not match day 3. Craziest, most MLS week of all time. A lot of predictions on this show. I would say about just maybe like around half were unfortunately incorrect. John had some howlers. Outside of that, I think we've been decently spot on this show. We're going to keep that train rolling heading into match day 5. As usual, I'm joined by the usual suspects. We have Hector from Insert Name FC. We got John Rivera, and we got Hitman Honda on the show today. Same guys from last week, defending some of their takes and making some new ones, again, for match day 5 ahead. So, boys, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into it. The first match on the docket for today, Chicago, Montreal. This one is really, really interesting. I think when 2024 started, man, I don't think anybody would have had this as like I can't wait to see what Montreal does, or even the Chicago Fire, right? I think, in all honesty, I probably would have bet this was going to be a snooze fest, boys. But we're here now, and one of these teams, undefeated, 7 points coming into match day 5. The other looking for their first win. And John, can you just go ahead and kind of walk us through who's looking for that first win this week?
Well, you see, this is the things that happen as a Fire fan, right? We live to understand the fact that our team cannot manage to seek out any draw or win in the 90th minute. I think that game being 12 minutes added on is kind of crazy, but at the same time, refs are going to do what the refs do, right? But, I think for us, I think, again, this is Montreal's trap game. I'm going to call it like that because, again, we talked about this yesterday. But Montreal, I don't feel like still have enough. I'm going to continue saying that. You can argue and debate with me as much as you want about how Montreal got points against an Inter Miami team that did not have Messi. And I do not want
Boosie, Suarez, and Alba.
Yeah, so still no Messi, no party. We've been saying this for months. So as much as you want to continue to hate me.
Who's we here?
A lot of people. No Messi, no party.
We on the bottom.
There's a reason why no Messi, no party was trending.
But okay, fine. Go ahead. Finish.
Okay, continue. No. Continue.
I want to say this. Okay, look. Let's. Okay, we're gonna just forget, right? We said this before. El Pistolero, greatest striker of his generation. Boosie, greatest defensive mid of his generation, and then we have Jordi Alba, who not the greatest left back of his generation, but very, very damn close. These aren't scrubs that Messi just brought over to Inter Miami to help him out. These are ballers, bro. Even at 34, 35, 36 years old. And I hate that we're just going to discount what they bring to that team because Messi didn't play. I think Montreal just showed up. I think they had a strong game plan for Miami. And it's more impressive the fact they beat them on the road, right? It wasn't in Montreal. It was at Miami, right? I don't even know how much mileage that is as far as travel goes. And MLS typically tends to favor the home team. I don't know, man. You guys are the home team this week. I think it makes it a little more interesting, but I won't have this Barca boys disrespect, bro. Those guys are still ballers.
Listen,
Jordy scored at the weekend. You gotta give Montreal a little more credit.
Okay, you gotta let go of your Barca bias for at least a couple.
There's
minutes.
No bias. These are just facts.
That is bias. You want to speak facts? You want to speak facts? That Jordi Alba and Boosie couldn't get that team to the playoff line. And I get that it was going to be difficult, but they still weren't able to do it, and they lost to teams that they shouldn't have been losing to last season. I don't care how much you want to paint it that these guys are good players. They're good players. They need to show up. They didn't.
So we're
they
going
didn't
to
show up
ignore
for
the
half a
fact that
game.
Miami started off in the deepest hole a team could really ever be in when these guys got here. They're coming off of playing a full season in Europe, Jordi and Boosie winning La Liga in the process, and then coming over to the U.S. and Inter Miami specifically with tired legs. There's no figure it out, bro. They're human. But now a full season, you're going to pretend this season is the latter half of 2023? It's not the same, bro. It's not the same. I can't wait for Montreal to humble you. I just
listen, for me, it's like this. They're a team that played the most amount of preseason games of any other club in this league. They've had the most games, the most time to figure this out. And you're losing to Montreal. Come on.
Montreal's undefeated.
Come on.
Have yet to lose. Again, have yet to lose, bro.
Like
Orlando,
I said yesterday,
Eastern Conference semifinalists, Dallas, playoff team last year, and Miami, right? Outside of Messi, every other player played. And they haven't dropped points. Well, they dropped points, but they haven't lost.
There is no way we lose this game.
No way.
No way we lose this game.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. There is
no way.
What
is it about Montreal? I just gotta know, what is it about Montreal that there's no way?
They're just not good. I don't see it. You missed that one-on-one chance, by the way, mind you. That's an open sitter. I don't know how you miss it. You get clear opportunities.
Technically, two open chances.
See, there you go. Yeah, there you go. I don't know.
So they could have won 5-2.
Could have. Don't count though.
But they still won. It doesn't even matter. Like your point is almost like mute because they still got the 3 points. They still walk away with the dub.
Fine against a Messi-less Inter Miami team. Like you can keep laughing. This is
what the comments are for. This is what the comments are for. Guys, let us know down below. Let us know down below if you feel like Miami is somehow lost if Messi doesn't play. I'm really curious what the fans.
It's true,
but go ahead.
I'm just saying. Look at that team. Look at what that team has done, and historically how that team has been playing without Messi.
Hard to get your boy, bro. Like I can't really say much right now. Just
all right.
What's your take on this?
I do not agree with anything that he said about Montreal because Montreal are doing very well.
All you guys are.
They go to Dallas and they beat them in their own home. Yeah, okay, they're missing players, but it's still FC Dallas. FC Dallas with the
Dallas team that don't have center backs, bro. Like, please, bro,
my team each season,
please,
right?
They don't have center backs.
They go to Miami and like, yeah, okay, Miami isn't the same without Messi. Like, let's not get it twisted, right? But they're still a quality team, like Jose said. Like they still have players that could actually win. However, I agree with you.
It's more Miami being bad than Montreal being good.
Recently, when Messi's not there, they look like they're struggling, and maybe they'll figure it out during the season, right? Who knows? But for right now, right? Chicago's gonna have it difficult versus Montreal. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I will say this too. And look, even when Montreal was ass, right, last season. You guys still the last time you guys met in September, you drew 0-0.
Yeah, like, September.
Even when they were dog shit, you guys couldn't beat them. Okay, and now they're a better team. And you're saying there's no way Montreal wins.
Name our strikers that we had that season. Just name our
strikers. Kuipers now. You still can't find the ball.
Yeah, dude, come on.
Guti is scoring more goals than your prize striker, right? Which I think he's a hell of a signing. But if you can't get him the ball, what does it matter?
I already told you how to fix this yesterday. You take Shaqiri out of the starting lineup. That's all we got to do.
Telling you, make it work.
I don't give a fuck. Bench him. He doesn't deserve to play. I'm just telling how it is.
He does. I agree. I'm just saying it's not going to happen. So I would stop hoping for that because it's not going to happen.
I'm not hoping for shit. Like if something doesn't happen, dude, I'm going to Chicago. We're marching down there. We're making some shit happen because these adjustments that we're fucking making are terrible. Like there's no way you look at how Shaqiri's playing and you're like, oh yeah, that's my 10. We're creating chances, bro. Please get out of here with that. I still do think that we're going to beat Montreal. And like I said, again, I think it's Inter Miami being poor more than Montreal being good. So I just
yeah, we'll see. Okay, so John has the fire. Hector, how you feel about this one?
As they're marching, as John's gonna be marching over to Chicago, it's gonna be a nice 57 degrees. Chicago,
local weatherman here.
Local weatherman, love it. Hector, how does the weather impact your prediction here?
Well, they're both used to the cold, so it's
Canada's built different, actually, to be honest.
And it's French Canadians, so I mean, that just changes everything. I don't know. I'm gonna go with a draw here. I'm feeling a draw on this one. I'm gonna give Montreal their flowers right now. They're looking pretty solid, despite the asterisks that are going on right now. The draw with Orlando.
Come back to this in a month.
We'll see.
Come back to this in a month. Come back to this in a month, and you're gonna see that I was right. All right.
They drew against Orlando, which I mean. Not looking great for my pick, but but obviously FC Dallas, I think that was a very good performance from them on that part. And Inter Miami, I mean, there was clear moments that they could have really put this game out of reach, and they didn't, and that's why Inter Miami was still able to have, I guess, a respectable result. But I I don't know. I'm liking from what I've seen from Montreal, but we'll see how it goes. I think a draw.
Yeah, Honda.
I actually, you know what? I'm just gonna keep the same result as yesterday, man. I'm gonna go with the Montreal win because
It's just a
I
bunch
don't know.
of hate,
Chicago
bro.
just seems like they've been playing like a hellish
Hate.
chicken throughout these games.
It's just
man.
a bunch of hate.
It's
Like,
just
Let's go, W.
I'm not-
All right.
listen.
we
If Chicago proves me
enjoy
wrong,
hate.
I'll put my hands up. Right.
All right,
Like,
in a
they
month, come back to
figure a
this.
way
All
to
right?
turn around.
I'm holding receipts. In a month, come back
We
to this.
ain't gotta wait a month. I'll see you next week, brother. After at Montreal, if Fire has to hold that L.
Listen,
We'll see each other
if
next week. Don't worry
Montreal
about it.
drops off, I could see that happening. But
Yeah.
right
I'm telling
now,
you, you guys are giving Montreal too much credit. But just give me a month. Give me a month, and they'll slowly prove you right.
Give
Okay,
you a
all right.
month or
That's
give
fair. That's
them
fair.
a month?
I will agree with Honda. I think Montreal's gonna take the dub again on the road. I've seen enough, in all honesty, and through the 3 match days. So
If you've seen enough within 3 match days, that's a little crazy.
dude, if they beat FC Dallas and Inter Miami on the road, how are they?
He's
not
just
gonna
saying
be
that because his
fired?
team
I'm sorry.
lost. He's saying that because his team lost. He's trying to save face. Don't let him
say
get to you like
face.
that.
We have 7 injured start. Look,
Yeah, see,
we'll go into
okay.
Dallas, but with that said, okay, we still play like again. Their pragmatic approach to playing games makes this so difficult, bro.
I just hear hate. Hate.
Watching Arsenal play Porto, watching Barca play Napoli. Like when you have a pragmatic approach, it is very, very easy to disrupt a team's rhythm. And those teams who are built on rhythm, they can't get it going. It's very difficult for them to win that game. And well, first off, Fire don't even have that much rhythm, so you guys have less to start from. But on top of that,
listen,
this is a team in form versus a team out of form. I have
if we score within the first 15 minutes of the game, it's our game.
You have yet to do that this season.
Listen, if we score within the first 15 minutes of this game,
we do what we've never done. We'll win this game. Got it.
But it comes from this mindset that the first 15 minutes that we played with as in this team in every single game, we've looked very good throughout those first 15 minutes, and we've had opportunities. Even last week, we had opportunities.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, if we score within those first, we just got to make it concrete, and we need to finish those. If we do, you're gonna see there's gonna be a little bit of a difference.
Hopefully, the Fire prove us wrong, man. Hopefully,
they're gonna prove you wrong. That's all I'm saying.
Hopefully, that John's not so jaded week in and week out, bro. The fall off from week 1's been wild to witness. I'll just say that. But with that said, boys, I think we collectively, right, majority rules, we have Montreal moving on reluctantly. And honestly, man, if I had to be, without gaslighting John, if I had to be realistic about this, I would probably lean more towards the draw. But I'm just hoping for the Montreal dub. Now I'm locked in, bro. I'm locked in. It's gonna be great. DC versus Miami. Just talking about Inter Miami. Well, we talked about them a little bit, right? But DC United coming off of that 0-0 draw, boys, we called that one to be a shootout, and it wasn't against Cincinnati, right? A lot of opportunities and chances, nothing really fell through. 0-0 on the road. I think DC could feel pretty good. They stole a point on the road against a good team, but nonetheless, didn't score any goals. First time it's happened so far in 2024. Miami lose 3-2 at home to Montreal. In the last meeting, just so you guys are aware, these two teams drew last season. I know Miami looks a little bit different, and DC looks a little bit different going in.
Now they look different. Okay.
Yeah, but what do you mean now they look different? They literally have a different player. They didn't have Suarez last season. Do you want me to jog your memory?
Now they look different. Cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, anyway, DC, how do we feel about this team considering that they were scoring like crazy, almost at will, and they kind of not backpedaled, but slowed down a little bit in the previous week?
I think that just happens. You're gonna have your outliers on the occasion, and I think with a team like DC United, if you're not able to, it's gonna be either you make them or you don't. And I think that's what's gonna be with DC this year. I think they're gonna score a lot of goals this year. I do think that, but there's gonna be those days where it just wasn't their day.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, it wasn't a bad game to watch. Like if anybody tuned in, it was just you were hoping for it, and then neither attack, whether it was Lucho and Bupensa or it was Benteke and the boys, like nobody could get it going and let it fall in the back of the net. Is it too safe to say that this is going to be a draw? I know it's Miami, I know it's Messi and the boys, but when is their next CC game?
Wednesday, tomorrow.
Okay, so what is it? 3 days of rest because they play on Saturday.
They play on Saturday.
Yeah, or 2 days of rest.
They should be used to this though. They play Champions League, They should be used to it according to you, They've done it. They've been there, like
I mean they have. They probably should. But how does that impact the game on Saturday?
How does it? It does completely because they're gonna need rest. They're old.
You think they're gonna rest so what? I mean, first
Suarez is definitely hitting the bench, tell you that. Suarez hitting the bench.
You said Messi wasn't gonna start in the last CCC game and he did.
No, I didn't say that. I said he would start. He would start.
Okay.
And then he would probably get rested, which ended up happening. I thought he was going to be on the bench, just winded up not playing. But again, I feel like Suarez isn't going to be there next game for sure. That knee is a problem.
Said, by the way, last time you said that, he went to score 2 goals.
Listen, that's fine. That's fine. But he didn't have the schedule that he had this week. So,
Good.
Cherry picking. I love it, man. I love it.
Killed right now.
Hey, yeah. I just noticed that, by the way. We'll talk about Philly when we get to
talk about Philly. Pachuca's running away with this. That defense from Philly's not.
I don't even think they're running now.
No, they pulled all the stories.
Looking on their heads.
He scored a hattie.
They pulled the Forrest Gump, was just like, I'm going home now.
All right, going back to my point though. Going back to my point with Suarez. Yeah. I think he gets rested. There's no way that Busquets actually continues to play. I think he might get another rest. I could see Alba playing, but again, I think it's gonna be a drop just based on the fact that these guys are gonna end up needing to rest.
I think draw too. That's honestly how I think this is going to go. Just because DC, they're going to have fresh legs, and they've already proven they can create chances. And I think if you can counter well on Miami with how slow they tend to recover on some of those long balls, I think that's where DC, finds a way to get behind the back line, get across into Benteke, and hopefully just convert the opportunities. They'll still get scored on, though. We've seen that. DC can score goals, but they leak them too. So, Honda, how do you feel about this one?
Here's the thing with DC. They always start off kind of nice, and then there's that drop-off. You get me? When is that drop-off going to come? If they lose to Miami and they get destroyed by Miami, I feel like DC's done. Their season is done.
Nah, not this early. Not this early. I don't think so.
I mean, a huge result could actually
derail their season. I kind of see where you're going with it, but I don't know if I think it's too early to say that. Give it maybe another month or two. I think they will.
I think they're going to draw. I think they're going to draw because of how the teams are coming, and I think they're going to rest players, Miami. But, like I said again, when is DC going to have that drop-off, if they do have that drop-off?
Yeah. Hector?
I'm actually going to say a DC United win because it's going to be 66 degrees.
Spicy.
66 degrees on Saturday.
66 degrees.
No, but, I mean, kind of what I mentioned last week, though, it's going to be interesting to see how they rotate the squad out. And there was some sloppiness in that back line against Montreal. And I think when an attack like DC has, I think that they can definitely take full advantage of those sloppy moments.
Yeah.
And, feed Benteke and do what they need to do. They don't have the triple Cs. So they'll be fully rested. They don't have to rotate their squad. Miami does. And it's gonna be interesting to see how they rotate, who comes in, who comes out. I do think we'll see Messi. I think we will see Alba, Busquets. I'm kind of on the fence with whether or not we'll see him because he has been playing a lot of matches. Suarez for a fact, I think will be on the bench as an option, but I don't think he's going to start right away. He's going to be starting that game. So with that rotating squad, if you DC United, you need to pounce on this opportunity. Go full send, go be that high scoring team that we've been seeing these last couple of matches aside from last week, and embarrass Miami again for them to have back-to-back losses.
Yeah. Seriously, there's massive opportunity. I know it's really hard. I think as I say, a draw. I think I kind of picked it because I feel like I don't know if Miami wins, but it's hard to imagine them losing back-to-back MLS games. It could happen, right? They could just prioritize the Triple C and the FIFA Club World Cup. It could happen. I'm not saying it can't. It's just hard for me to imagine it considering how, the profile of those players. So, but I think majority rules.
I think once again. And something that I think is I'm noticing with Tata Martino is that he understands the MLS. Obviously he has experience in this league, and he knows I don't have to be the best team in the Eastern Conference to win the MLS Cup.
Yeah,
I just got to get in. So right now, with this opportunity to prioritize the Triple C or whatever tournament comes their way, let that be the priority. I just got to do whatever I need to do to not be in that wild card spot and just be in one of those prime playoff positions. Ideally, one that's going to have home field advantage. Because once it comes down to playoffs, I think with the players that they definitely have something where they can make a deep run. But I mean, so I don't necessarily think it's that. I think right now, understanding how the league works, I think that Miami's going to play a little smart.
I feel like you guys are afraid of people coming at you guys for criticizing Miami. Criticize them. Get into them, lay them a little bit. Give them the
be realistic. Yeah, we don't have.
If they lose, not the worst thing in the world.
No, just
not saying that we're sounding alarm bells, but I'm just saying, the prioritizing of tournaments and stuff, it's gonna be okay. It'll be fine. But all I'm saying is, Don't be afraid to criticize everyone else that's around Messi.
With that
That's
said,
it.
majority rules. I think we have
That's
a
fine.
draw collectively across the board. So we'll keep it there. DC Miami drawing together. Let's move on to the next matchup. Seattle versus Colorado. Seattle didn't get to play this past week, right? The rained out game against Philly, which I don't know how that game would have gone now, considering the Union getting their ass whooped right now by Pachuca. Maybe this that probably could have been the perfect opponent to get Seattle going, because right now they can't score either. And then you have the Rapids coming off the upset at Real Salt Lake on the road, 2-1. Cole Bassett looked very, very good. This team does, because being in the West, right, they have a strong history of playing each other. The last match they went up against each other was back in September. Sounders beat them on the road 2-1. I think that this could be Seattle's in a really, really weird spot. Like, I want to believe that at home they will defend Lumen Field, and defensively they might to an extent. That I think Yamar's back, but they're still missing guys like Stephen Fry, like Rusnak. Rui Diaz is like questionable every other week, right? De La Vega's out. Joao Paulo's out, who controls a lot of the midfield for them. I think it's just they have so many crucial pieces missing. If there was ever a chance for Colorado to replicate what they did against Real Salt Lake, this is probably that opportunity. How do you guys feel about this one?
Colorado. Just because they're out their goalkeeper. And then that's a big player.
You think Fry's the whole team?
Not the whole team, but Fry is a very important piece to that team.
Yeah, he is. But I still think Joao Paulo and Rusnak might be more important. In my opinion.
No, for sure.
Of course, De La Vega, but yeah.
I think for the back line, Fry is very crucial.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think defensively, I don't know how. Seattle's been historically a solid team, so I don't know. Maybe Colorado get it through, but maybe I could be wrong and this is a boring draw, but I'm gonna take Colorado for now.
Ooh, man, Yamar Gomez Andrade is back, which is going to be a vital piece to Seattle's defense, right? The defense, at least from what it seems like, it's all sorted. However, that offensive power, they're not going to have it. Rui Diaz, again, questionable, and he has not been the same since like a while back. Who else was out? The key midfield, Rusnak
and Joao Paulo.
Joao Paulo? Oh, yeah, that's very key for defense as well as offense too. So like, and Colorado just came off of beating Real Salt Lake in Real Salt Lake's home. I see Colorado winning this, and even worse than what they did to Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? Because like against Austin, and now it's Austin FC, so take it with a grain of salt. But Seattle, like still, even without all these pieces, were able to like conjure up like a decent offense to an extent. So they're still able to do some of that. But it was Austin FC. They concede I don't know how many shots every single game. So I don't know if that'll happen against Zach Steffen and the crew, over at the Rapids. But this one's tough for me, man. It's so hard to bet against. They were the best defense in the West last season. Hector, how do you see this one going, bro?
I'm going with Colorado. It's also going to be
all the way a sweep across the board. The Rapids
66 degrees as well over there in Seattle on Saturday. So
Seattle's beautiful this time of year, bro. To be honest, I miss it.
I mean, honestly, man, the way when we talked about Colorado, it was all the players that they brought in, and when will we see the finally click?
Yeah,
and I think. I'm not saying that they are clicking now, but things are kind of moving into a groove. Wins get confidence. Confidence gets that groove in. Everything starts clicking.
Yeah.
And Seattle's just down bad.
I think Colorado's virtually fully healthy. I think they had like one scratch maybe for this game, but outside of that, like they have almost a clear injury report. So, whereas Seattle's the exact opposite. So, all right. I was going to pick draw, but I think I'm down to pick the upset here. It works for me. All right, let's move on. Columbus Crew taking on the Red Bulls. Red Bulls are visiting Columbus. Columbus obviously got that crazy. What was it, John? 10th minute winner of stoppage time.
Literally, it was in the 9th. Well, they got one goal called off sides in like the 8th, and then literally like a minute or two later they scored.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I called it. I called it as I was watching it in Discord too. I was like, "Watch, they're going to concede here," and they did.
They won late at Chicago 2-1. The Red Bulls at home defeated FC Dallas 2-1 in the monsoon game of the week. Tied on the in terms of points on the table at this very moment. Red Bull having one of the best starts to a season that they've had in quite some time. Last time they met back in July 2023, the Crew did take it 2-1. So that was the last time they met. Do we even try to bet against the champions here? Have the Red Bulls shown anyone that there's any kind of upset potential?
No,
not enough yet.
Not for me, not yet. I know they played midweek, and I know that they not really that they scratched it and clawed it out of Houston, but And they won the game, or they drew the game, but they won the tie.
That was a
so.
2-1 aggregate, man. Give them the respect.
No Houston
Yeah, but
slander.
It's also a Houston team that is they're injured right now. You know, they're hurting a little bit. So at the end of the day, I think
injured team is all I hear.
yeah. but I see Columbus. I see Columbus coming out with a win out of this one, just because I don't know yet enough about the Red Bulls yet to make my deciding choice whether they're going to be legit this year or not.
Fair point. Honda?
If it were the Red Bulls at home, I would have said the Red Bulls just because they're at home. I feel like it's whoever's at home, they're going to take it because the Red Bulls, they're not super flashy, I would say, from what I've seen, but they do the job that they're supposed to do. However, away from home, at Columbus, they're the champions right now. They got to show face, man. I think Columbus is going to win, and they got the squad to do it as well.
Interesting. Hector?
Columbus, but it's going to be a tight one. Also, it's going to be 59 degrees. So
59 degrees.
Hell yeah. I'll be honest, boys. Like I was gonna pick Red Bulls to win. I'm gonna go with the draw. I know we collectively are picking the Crew, and that's fine. I always say you can't really bet against the champion until they give you a reason to, but like Red Bulls this season so far have gone on the road against Nashville, pulled out a draw in a game they should have won. They dominated that game. Go to Houston, pick up a win, all 3 points on the road. And then they beat us at home. It was their home opener, right? Now going to lower.com field and netting out 3 points is very difficult, but I feel like if Minnesota United, which I would kind of put Red Bulls somewhere in that territory on the opposite side, the opposite conference, right? They bottom half of the playoff scenario last year. We're making kind of an interesting run of form towards the end of the regular season. Added some very key pieces, in this offseason, and now look at them, right? So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the Red Bulls pulled off the draw. It'd be really cool to see him win, but I also think that Wilfred Nancy's Wilfred Nancy. He'll find a way to, even with the extra game they have to account for, probably find a way to be dynamic enough to keep the Red Bulls on their toes. So collectively, we'll go with the Crew winning, but I could totally see a draw happening here. So we'll see what happens. All right, boys, let's move on. New York City FC taking on Toronto. All right, New York City FC coming off of that. Would you consider it an Insigne banger? Was it a hell of a goal? I would consider it a banger.
I would consider it an Insigne coming out party. That's what
no, it's not, bro. There's got to be a definition to coming out party. One goal isn't it. One goal is not.
2 goals in 2 games.
That's like a decent run of form starting, but it's not a coming out party.
See, listen. It might be one of those things. He got one. Now he got another one. Now he's getting another 2. Like, I don't know. No, I'm playing.
Is he gonna dunk on New York City at that baseball stadium though?
I told you. I said it when we were watching the Portland game. Well, actually, while I was watching the Portland game, I mentioned how I've forgotten how narrow that pitch actually is. So it's tight to operate. Yeah. I don't know if that really benefits Insigne too much. I mean, he likes to cut inside, and it's part of that. It helps him in that sort of part of the game, but they need to be you need to play more direct, I feel like, when you play in a narrow pitch. There's not enough room to really do much. I don't know. I said it was a draw. I still think that this might be a draw, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Honda, Hector, how are you guys feeling about this?
I'm thinking revenge party for Sean Johnson. 1-0 Toronto.
Oh, man. Revenge game. Forgot about the revenge game factor.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, there is some revenge game factor there. But don't you feel like at this point, if New York City could do what they did for the first half against Portland, because I felt like they were good. I actually felt like for 45 minutes of the 90, they played good football, had a strong strategy. And then whatever it was, maybe the halftime speech from Cushing was trash and that, maybe they weren't motivated enough, if that's a thing as a professional player, but they go out in the second half, don't replicate it at all, kind of phone it in defensively, and then the last 10 minutes concede 2 goals. I don't know if that will happen again with Toronto. I don't think Toronto scored 2 goals in the game yet, have they? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either, but they're solid defensively. And New York City FC, I mean, the 1 goal, I don't know, man. Here's the thing with New York City FC. I told you yesterday, right? How John sees Montreal, I see New York City FC this season. They're just not it, man.
Yeah, I mean,
they turn it around, but
and keep in mind they are so again. And John's gonna hear this it's definitely gonna be Toronto now. So they're missing Thais Magno and they're missing Maxi Morales for this game. So
it's definitely Toronto 2-0. Okay, I still
probably.
Despite that, I still think it's gonna be a draw. I don't know. I don't know. You guys,
Insigne is gonna see that soccer pitch. He's gonna be like, forget about it.
He's gonna decide that he's just gonna randomly pull out like a 30-yard screamer and it's gonna go in and he's gonna be like, I told you,
Maybe.
Like,
I mean, he's got the
It's
quality
not
of talent.
bad.
We've been waiting for this for a while. Yeah, I honestly, I'm waiting now with Hector doing it. I'm waiting for him after a goal to be like this, just as he's running off the pitch.
Yeah,
Also, 56 degrees on
I think New York and Toronto are pretty close together, aren't they? They're like pretty geographically close together. So
they're close.
Right across the border from another.
I mean, to go off the weather reporting, I think we need to state it because honestly, that what was the game? The RSL
LAFC.
Blizzard?
LAFC. Yeah, that blizzard. I would have said it the other way around had I know there would have been a blizzard. So it's nice to have this information.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair. And people hold us accountable to it in the comments. So again, Hector is doing you guys a service. Please show appreciation down in the comments. With that said,
Hector, put the weather map behind you, bro.
that should be the background. It just changes to the forecast. I said earlier,
this is
Toronto.
A problem, guys.
Oh yeah, there's a real problem area over here. So I mentioned Toronto hadn't scored multiple goals in the game yet, but they also, crazy stat, have yet to concede. They have yet to concede a goal. So I think that Herdman's men are doing the work all over the pitch to make sure that they continue to see clean sheet after clean sheet. But they are relying upon individual brilliance to get them across the finish line with these matches. I don't know how long that lasts. In the baseball stadium, you like to think NYCFC learned something against Portland, maybe, hopefully, right? They're a pretty young team, but hopefully. I like a draw in this one. I gotta feel like they're gonna get their first points of 2024. I'm gonna bank on a draw.
All I'm saying is that MLS.com has Toronto slated at 14th in the power rankings this week, which is higher than NYCFC. So you make your decision based on whatever you want.
I don't listen to power rankings ever, because MLS. I would be honest, MLS's power rankings are absolute trash.
It is because you got Miami number 2, so they
have Seattle top 10, and they haven't scored a goal from open play yet. Like, what are we doing, bro? I don't know. At the end of the day, I stopped tuning out to those because they just don't make any sense.
Seattle is number 10,
bro. It makes zero sense. They have one PK goal so far. Anyway,
literally.
With that said, boys, draw. Hector, Honda, how you guys? Honda, what'd you say what this is going to be?
Toronto win.
Toronto win, Hector.
Toronto win.
Oh, you know what?
I'm not moving.
You know what? We'll flip.
Toronto.
We'll flip. We'll go with the Insigne hype. The Insigne. Maybe this will finally be Insigne's coming out party because he has yet to have it, John. He has yet to have his coming out party.
Okay, fair.
How many Italian Americans are we going to be seeing in that stadium?
Man,
we are talking about New York here.
Yeah,
bro, a lot of just Napoli Insigne kids. Bernardeschi, who did he transfer from? Was it Juve? Yeah, Juve. So maybe some strong Juve Napoli vibes at the stadium. I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll find out.
Yeah, that baseball stadium ain't getting full. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, it's not. It's also Yankee Stadium, so it kind of.
The Italians show out. The Italians
they do. It would be great to see a massive turnout, even if it was just to support, the local Italians.
It's gonna be like that soccer scene from The Sopranos.
I just have. I'm gonna pose this question: if MLS had an All-Star weekend in New York at that baseball stadium, would you show up and pay for that? I would not.
No,
I would not.
I mean,
it'd be tough. There's a lot to do in New York, bro.
There is a lot to do.
There's a lot to do in New York. A lot to do.
But when they get their new
if
stadium,
they pay for my flight, maybe. If they pay for my flight,
now that new stadium that's coming, I am really curious to see how it's going to look. That is massive, and City Football Group tends to do most things like that, right? So we'll see. They're building that one at the exact same time as they're getting ready to roll out. I think Manchester City's new stadium park or whatever it is they're building around the Etihad. So a lot of money being spent by that ownership group. We'll see. All right, boys, let's move on to Austin FC and the Philadelphia Union. Austin FC coming off of kind of a heartbreaking result when you think about, I will say this as a Dallas fan, how well they actually played in that game for about 70 plus minutes. And then St. Louis just kind of turned it on at the end and it came to a 2-2 draw. I was watching a lot of the We Are Austin TV reactions to this. And I think fans for the most part felt like this was their most positive, of course, right? They got a point. It was their most positive performance to date. With that said, 5 shots. Being their most offensive heavy performance up to this point is not the best look offensively if you're an Austin FC fan. Meanwhile, right, you have the Union who are coming off of, I was going to say a bye week, but they have Pachuca tonight where they're proving that their defense may be non-existent. So if there was an opportunity for Austin FC to, I don't know, take it to Jim Curtin's men and pull off an upset, even if it is at the Q2, I would still consider this an upset, right? Like just considering where Austin is and who the Union are, could we consider that this an upset if Austin wins?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I said El Sakiko right here. It's got to be. It's got to be. You just got dunked on.
I didn't believe it
5-0.
before
man.
I didn't believe it
Is
before the
this a
Pachuca game.
lose
I was kind of
town
waiting
game?
to see what happened. Yeah. Now I'm like, John might be onto something.
I'm telling you, I was cooking on the Jim Curtin take. I'm telling you, I'm cooking on that take. This team has heard enough of we believe better than 90% of the league. Where are you at? Where are you at now? You know, you're struggling, and if you lose to Austin, it's not a good look. Not a good look. I don't know. I want to say a draw just because I feel like Jim Curtin already pulled out all of his starters, basically most of the starters of that team.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know. I don't know. It's a snooze fest for me. I'm gonna say 0-0. That's just me.
Hector.
All right. So on Saturday, the weather is looking at 67 degrees with a 55% chance of lightning storm happening.
Wow.
Ooh.
Watch out for that then. Man, another weather delay. I don't know, bro. Texas is wild in terms of weather. I mean, Dallas was like weather delay FC last season. I'll say that confidently because I was at a good amount of those games. But it's crazy that
it's the Q though. It's the Q.
Yeah,
it's a Q too.
But I mean, keep in mind when they tied Sporting Kansas City the first opening week of the season, they didn't have Casey had majority of the possession, all the XG, majority of the shots on target, big chances. Might have been like equal on both sides, maybe. But the Union haven't looked great at all to start this season. They looked like they kind of skated by against the Fire. They got lucky to walk away with the draw. Kansas City kind of something similar, and now in the Triple C, they're getting dunked on by Pachuca. So it's like if Seattle had done the same thing to them, had they actually played that game out, Curtin might already be like on the hot seat firmly. But maybe this will be the game that puts him in that hot seat for sure. Because I don't know, man. I don't think the FO has the balls to fire him. If I'm being honest.
But how can you? Again, this is just me. 10 years of not winning shit. How do you deal with that? How do you how do you continue to justify that you're the man for this job when there's not much to show for it? That's just the way I look at it. That's like okay. I'll throw it back to you, Jose. That's like Wenger's later years at Arsenal. The message was just getting old. Like he needed to move on. Like it's looking kind of like that a little bit. I don't know.
It is kind of, and I would say when that happened, by the way, I would say that was like way further along because by that point, Arsenal were like firmly a banter club at that point.
Yeah.
Getting 8th place consistently in the table, not really making any big money moves to try and help. By the end, we had tried to sign Ozil and then Aubameyang right before Wenger left, but it was at that point it was kind of too late. I think Curtin still has a little bit left to go before we get to that point. But what I'm saying is I think if they lose, and I just drop points, if they lose to Austin FC, even if it is at the Q2, with how down bad Austin are, I don't know, man. Now it's like him and Wolf were kind of in that El Sakiko race, right? Who gets fired first? It really is going to be that narrative moving forward. Because Philly, they went backwards from 2022 to 2023, and now they're even starting worse in 2024. So,
do you think it's a reliance on the old guard, the over reliance on these players that have been there for a while? That
it's a combination of that and the fact that I don't know why they don't make signings. Do they not have money? Does the FO not care? Why don't they make signings that are going to help some of this generation of players that they have? Especially
they're
the
still
academy guys
running around with Bedoya, bro.
I think Curtin wanted to let him go. I think for whatever reason, Bedoya wanted to stay and the club wanted to honor that. I actually think Curtin didn't want to keep him around, but
he's still giving him minutes though.
Bedoya was supposed to retire this season, past season, by the way. So,
yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's difficult to put my finger on what's going on with the Union. I really just think it's a lack of investment and resources for Curtin and the club. But by this point, I think you're also right. He's had 10 years of finishing Supporters Shield winner and then bowing out in the first round, or in top 4 in the East and bowing out in the semifinals. It's always kind of the same thing. The Union are probably literally, we said it before, the Dallas Cowboys of MLS. Have all the hype and then just don't do anything in the playoffs.
Just an update here. It wasn't 5. It ended up being 6.
It's 6, by the way. Yeah, I did see that. It's 6-0. Yeah. 6-0 against Pachuca. They made Pachuca look like prime Manchester City, bro. It's insane.
It's just crazy to me. Like I said, I don't know how you expect for this specific roster to do something this year. I feel like they'll miss out of the playoffs. I know we're really early on, but I could see them actually missing out.
Yeah, we'll see. So collectively, we are on the Austin FC train for this one, considering your bias, John, or what are we doing?
Yeah, I'll take Austin.
Yeah, Austin.
Hey, can I take a suspension of the game? Because it seems like it's gonna happen again with Philadelphia. It happened versus Seattle, and now it seems like it's gonna happen versus Austin.
It'd be crazy to put a bet on a weather suspension and then it actually happens. That I mean, Honda would win the week, I think, at that point. But
Listen, they're just buying him time. They're buying him an extra week in the job. You know, give him an extra week.
If somehow Curtin gets like back-to-back weeks of just postponement due to weather, that'd be crazy. But realistically, what do you got? A draw, a win for Austin? Do you see Philly winning?
Win for Austin. Win for Austin.
Surprising win for Austin. Okay, Hector.
I'm gonna go with a very lackluster draw.
Yeah, I was gonna say draw too. Actually, I hate giving Austin their flowers, boys. I'm not gonna lie. And plus, bro, like when five shots is the best you can register, like that is your season best, and you average taking like 20 plus shots a game against you, it's just hard, bro. It's so hard for me to like really.
5 shots, 3 shots on target, right? That's what it was.
Yeah, so they had 5 shots, 2 shots on target against St. Louis. That was their best offensive day so far.
Trust and Brad Stuver.
Yeah, Brad Stuver is the only one, in my opinion, who should be getting like all-star shouts by the time we get to that point in the season. Like he's been everything for them.
He better make it. I want to see Hernan at an all-star weekend. You know.
Hell yeah, and I want to see goalie wars, bro. To be honest, I think goalie wars are fucking awesome.
I want to see how they do it this time around because I do want to see the MLS goalkeepers. I'm just full Italian now, apparently. But I want to see the MLS goalkeepers. Like it was cool seeing the MLS Next Pro guys compete as well. But like, you know, shout out to my boy. Fuck, I'm trying his name. Blank on name. Xavier Valdez.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Xavier Valdez. But I mean, like,
was he in the final against Loss?
No, he lost in the semi.
Okay. Yeah.
But and then obviously this year is going to be Liga MX All Stars versus MLS All Stars. So which probably is what they should have done last year.
Yeah, it feels kind of stale, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm still down to go and watch. I think it's gonna be good.
I want to see Jurado just chuck some shit, bro. I need to see Jurado show up, do something.
Yeah. Seriously. All right,
Guzman on.
No, put no one in there, bro.
All right, so let's just go with what
confused.
We got 2 draws and 2 dubs for Austin. Who wants to flip?
I don't want to flip. I'll take the draw.
You know what, bro? I'll do it. I'll back Austin FC for this one. I'm hoping that I jinx them, in all honesty, but we'll call it a backing of Austin FC, and we'll see how it goes. But I will say this, man. I don't think they've hit 1.0 on the XG meter yet. Maybe they do it against this very, very trash defense with the Philadelphia Union, but we'll see. Let's move on. Dallas versus Vancouver at home. Dallas hosts Vancouver. Keep in mind, right? Dallas did lose to the Red Bulls away at Red Bull Arena. Have not won there since 2006, which is wild. But they lose there 2-1 on the road. Vancouver, I believe, what was the result with them? Vancouver. Oh, they won. They beat the Quakes, right? 2-0. It's the Quakes. So take that with a grain of salt. Who's not beating the Quakes this season, right? I wonder how Quakes versus Austin would go. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious.
Austin
like
wins.
Nobody wins. That's
listen. What
What
is your hate against San Jose, man? Like
whether
they're just ass. They're just trash. Like no hate. They're just not good. Like I don't know what I'm looking at.
In the beginning.
Okay, listen.
I was defending him in the first episode.
Listen, I got a proposal for San Jose. I got this insane proposal.
Okay.
Make me sporting director. I will lead this club to glory. Let me take the reins. I got you.
No, you won't.
I'm telling you.
Nobody can save that club, bro. No, only Cade Cowell can save that club.
No, he couldn't. There's a reason why his ass is in Chivas, bro. Come on now.
He's at Chivas, bro. Chivas are a better team. Chivas are a better team.
Listen. I'll take the bag. Let me live in San Jose for a bit. You know,
you don't got a bag to offer you. That's the thing.
Listen. A nice, respectable bag.
Yeah,
I don't need that much.
And the Spotify Premium.
How does 36,000 a year sound?
Hey, seems like they're matching my salary, bro.
Yeah, facts, bro. I don't know about San Jose, to be honest, man.
San Jose's not bad.
Yeah, they're down bad. But anyway, going back to Dallas versus Vancouver. Dallas is hosting. Keep in mind, last time these two teams played, it was Dallas hosting. They won 2-1. We played twice last season, and I actually got this wrong. I thought we split the matches 1-1. We drew in Vancouver and then beat them here in Dallas. So that's how it ended. Now, granted, Dallas is missing Ibiaga, Pomykal, Farfan, Giovanni Jesus, Iaramendi, Gorka, and Velasco. So that's a pretty long injury list. It kind of is what it is. I'm used to it at this point. Maybe we figure it out without them, but we're still running our back line. And I imagine Nico's knocked. I hate that he doesn't change the formation even when we have backups out there, but he probably won't. We'll probably still play 3-4-3. and we'll have 2 backup center backs out there next to Fare. So
I
with
think
that in
Velasco
mind,
injury is got you kind of, you know, that's out of the whole list that you just listed. Velasco's like that's the one that hurts you the most.
I don't. So yes and no. I think Yada Mendy is massive for us. I think Yada is like the controller of the tempo. Like we can survive until summer without Velasco if Yada was healthy. Without him, it's like Sebastian Lletget and maybe Jesus Ferreira kind of running the midfield, but neither of them are tried and true center midfielders.
Running the midfield. God
Hey, say what you want, bro, but he hits double-digit assists just about every single season.
He's an attacker. He's an attacker, bro. Like,
but he's more
knows how
to
to pass
me.
the ball.
To me, he's more of a 10. And that 10 role, it's fine.
Yeah.
I just love that the hope is to have Sebastian Lletget keep the ball secure. We couldn't secure his relationship with Becky G.
True. That man. And you know what's crazy?
Man dropped a bag, bro.
I think they might have got back together. By the way, I don't want to be the trends on a gossip show, but I think he might have reeled that one back in, boys. Anyway, with that said,
no, I don't think so. That girl's living her life.
I've seen pictures that dispute that, but again, we'll save the gossip for another day. With that said, Palma call too. He needs to come back. Look back at I think maybe like early April, if not the last week of March. But I don't see like a tried and true playmaker, or not playmaker, tempo setter, because like a tried and true center mid, an 8 that's just gonna hold this down, like in the middle of the field. That's the only part outside of the back line that makes me a little bit nervous. I think moving forward, we should be good. If Herrera sits behind Musa, I know we'll score. I'm also just in my mind wondering how many goals we concede. I don't think it's a ton, but I think that Vancouver will get on the score sheet. So I don't know. I'll be biased here. Oh, man, Vancouver's a good team. They finished above us in 2023. They finished 6th. We finished 7th. So at home with a bunch of backups, I'm gonna take a draw. I said Dallas winning yesterday. I'm gonna be conservative because I feel like if I get my hopes up too high, I'm gonna get shit on. I think I'm gonna go a draw 2-2.
I'm gonna counter jinx you, and I'm gonna go Dallas with the win.
Ooh, okay. Hector?
So the forecast is expecting 52 degrees to be as lowest and the highest 70. So pretty warm if you're from Vancouver. So
true.
Warm.
Very true. Pretty warm. No thunderstorms, right? That's only in Austin. None of that.
No thunderstorms. You know, Texas. The weather is weather in Texas. So I mean,
it's wild out here.
Oh man, I don't know, man. I feel like this could go either way, but I'm gonna go with the draw. I think it's gonna be just a 2-2 draw. You guys have a lot of injuries. I feel like we're kind of disrespecting Vancouver now that I'm saying this, but I'm gonna say a 2-2 draw.
We don't have enough information on Vancouver. I feel like they've only played like 2 games. I feel like this is 2 games that they played.
So they I think they 3-0. So they're in the Triple C, right? They also beat us 3-0. They tied Charlotte 1-1. They beat San Jose. So it's just like they let Charlotte score. Now San Jose didn't do anything, but they don't. I'm willing to bet that's going to be the case for a lot of games this season. So it's hard to gauge, right? It's like they haven't played the best competition yet or the best attacking teams moving forward. I will gladly back our team's attack over Charlotte or San Jose. It's just our defense right now is kind of leaky because of backup. So, you know, that's why I say I think we'll score, but I still think we'll get scored on. And maybe that's out in a draw. I don't know. 2-2.
Wait,
maybe we'll get some St. Patty's Day luck. You know what I mean? St. Patty's Day.
How did Vancouver get into the Triple C's? What the hell? Am I just really
Canadian?
Yeah, Canadian teams.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah.
I was
and still 6th place in the West. I mean, I know they bowed out to LAFC, but like they were still like a decent side. They just had no shot against that version of Denny Bouanga.
Yeah, I just don't feel like I have enough information on them.
I think the Canadian teams compete also in like their own version of the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay.
And the winner of that
it's like the Canada League, actually. Like it's their own.
Yeah, they compete against the CPL teams in like some domestic tournament that allows them a spot, or I don't know how many spots in the CCC. So that's how they're there. But clearly, right? I mean, I know they drew at home to Tigres because Tigres don't know what it's like to play in Canada. But then going down to Mexico, different story, right? So it was just a slap in 3-0. So
I just like I said, I don't feel like I have enough information on Vancouver though. Like in terms of the league this season, like
I
feel like
they don't have anywhere as many injuries. They have like 1, and Brian Gall's going to be, you know, kind of everything for them creatively moving forward, as he kind of is. I think he's more of a 10 that can play as a winger if he needs to. I think Gall will have a presence, you know, for sure, because I'm almost willing to bet that Vancouver's watching all of the film against Dallas and knows that they just have to play long ball to the wingers, and that's the path to getting behind our back line. So Gall will get the ball a lot. I'm confident of that.
Yeah, I think I said a tie yesterday. I think I'll go with it again. I do see Dallas winning though if Farrington starts.
Yeah, bro. If it could be Farrington and Musa with like Ferreira behind them, I'm totally game for that setup, man. They need like a second striker to like play off of it. Farrington does a lot of the little things well. Like for a rookie, he moves really well off the ball and does a lot of the work some of the guys won't do. So hopefully that's the case, bro. We'll see. I'm hoping for a win, but I think it's going to be a draw. We'll go with that for this show and those purposes. All right, let's move on to Hector's boys, the Dynamo, taking on Portland at home. Dynamo coming fresh off today, right? What was it? Did it be a 1-1, 2-1 aggregate loss?
Yeah.
Hector? Yeah.
Yep.
So again, no Achacha. Quinones is out for the season. I believe you guys are also missing who? Was it Escobar? Who was it?
Sebastian Ferreira.
Ferreira.
I don't know. There's rumors that I don't know if the rumors are done or what, but I know Franco Escobar was linked to going to Inter Miami.
I forgot about that.
I don't know if anything came from it. By any means, but also once again, you're rotating the squad out because of Triple C, and the squad's pretty lean as it is already. But Bassi is back, so that's a positive for the team. They were able to handle his green card situation, so that's a good thing. But once again, it goes back to the thing I've said a lot since we've been talking about the Houston Dynamo, is just where are these goals going to come from? I think defensively, the Dynamo have proven to be really good and able to handle their own. But I think there's going to be a moment where this team is going to – the defense is not going to be able to hold on as much as they can any longer. And it's going to be one of those games where we need to see somebody step up. Do we see Coco Carrasquilla step up, at some point? Which, I mean, I think he's been really good. He's been really doing what you expect him to do, but I need him to do that next step further. He got his big contract extension to stay with the Houston Dynamo, but he needs to do a little bit more, at least in the attacking side. And I mean, that goes to the whole attack in general, regardless of who it is. Someone just needs to step up and start being more clinical in the final moments, because instead of just going for the kill, they pass the ball. For what reason? I have no idea. But they just need to have that killer mentality. And unfortunately, I think if Sebastian Ferreira was healthy, I think he would be the guy doing those things.
Yeah.
As long as he stays away from KFC. And but I think once he's healthy, I can maybe see more of an attack going on for the Dynamo. But right now, the question is where are we seeing the goals come from? And right now, I just don't have that answer.
Yeah. Keep in mind too, guys. Last time these teams played each other, it was right before playoffs. It might be the last game of the season. It was like mid to late October. Houston went to Portland and beat them 3-1. And granted, that was obviously the most rampant informed version of Houston, and they weren't dealing with injuries like they are now. But it's still something to consider when you think about how to line up against this team at home and try to get a result. So I feel like I'm gonna go. I don't know what I said yesterday, to be honest, Honda and John, but I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna back the Dynamo at home. I'm gonna say like a 1-0 or something crazy. Maybe a PK settles it. I don't know, but I think their defense has been solid enough. And in all honesty, if it wasn't for NYCFC collapsing in the final 10 minutes of that game, Portland don't win. They go to the Bronx, walk out with nothing, and have to go and fly down to Houston and try to get another result. So I think they got lucky in that one. I think Houston's a better team. I'm gonna take the Dynamo on this one.
Weather update. Weather's going to be high is going to be 76, low is going to be 65, and a 55% chance of lightning.
Yep. So we'll see. Maybe South Texas, it may not be where you guys want to be on Saturday night, but we'll see how that stacks up. But Hector, you got, provided the game continues.
I'm gonna go with the draw. I think there's going to be a draw here. I think, I'm very confident with the Dynamo's defense. And obviously you still have Steve Clark out there doing what he does. I don't know what he does, but he does something there. But that back line, I think, is one of the most impressive so far that I've seen this season. That's a really solid back line. And then obviously Arthur, who I still continue to say he's underrated, are also awesome. But like I said, I need to see something from the attack, and I haven't seen anything yet.
We'll see.
Give me Portland.
What'd you say, John?
Give me Portland. Anthony, I like Anthony on that team, by the way. I've been saying it for a couple of weeks now. He looks solid. He looks really, really good.
Kamal Miller's also look good in the back too. I think he's had some pretty decent games so far. Some goal line clearances to kind of save Portland in certain scenarios. So
Shayan might have been onto something.
No,
he might have been. He might have been.
I will say it again. I maintain that Portland's always been a good team. Like they have. Like Neville is not coming in here and revolutionizing the Timbers. They won MLS Cups before he ever entertained the idea of moving to the Pac Northwest. Like they've been a good team. They had one down season last year, and everyone's giving Neville flowers for their resurgence. When in reality, this is just a good team who dropped in form in 2023 and back like good teams should, in my opinion. So I think Xiaoyan is just he understood that and echoed it. His devil take to me won't be proven until we see this team across the stretch of the season.
Portland, they just like, as much as you say, like, okay, whether they got lucky or not in New York, I still think they're still a very solid team offensively and defensively. Houston, they're very solid defensively. However, I feel like they are lacking up at the top. And like Hector said, their defense, they can't rule out everything that Portland's going to give to them. So
yeah,
I feel like Anthony and Evander, that duo will show up again. And I think Portland's going to win 2-1.
Interesting. All right. Well, we got 2 Portland dubs in here, so we'll go with that reluctantly. But I could see a draw. And look, man, if Houston does win, it's just not going to surprise me. You know, it's
I can see a draw too. I can
totally see a draw. And if that happens, I mean, I know it's a home game, but considering some of the key players Dynamo are missing, I would still be somewhat content with that as a Dynamo fan, just trying to buy some time until these guys get back. So yeah,
I mean, there's some Dynamo fans that are. I need to keep some checks on them because they're definitely overreacting a little too much. I will say it would have been nice to have signed somebody, but the Dynamo's budget just wasn't what it was last year when they were able to bring in the guys that they wanted to bring in. But like, I still think that this team is still formidable. Obviously, once everybody's healthy, that's when we can really gauge what this team's going to be. Because I don't know, man, Hector Herrera is going to be out for a while when he comes back.
Well, in all honesty, bro, I think it's gonna be April. What was it? Edita is like early April. Like it might be like another few weeks. So there's time. Like he has a little. I heard he's already rehabbing. He's already kind of coming back.
No, yeah, he's already training. But I'm just saying, like that's different versus on the game time. It's time to play when this his adjustment, because now you gotta know he's got to know the burden's on him. The burden's gonna be on him because this team looks completely different when he's on the field.
Yeah.
And so I think that, and I mean, knowing what I know, just knowing what I know, he always puts pressure on himself. He always feels like he has to score in every single game in order for this team to be formidable. And that's just because he wants it for this team. But so I know the burden's going to be put on himself by him. But I mean, that's why I need to see somebody step up right now, so that way we know it's not just on Hector Herrera.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But like I said, we'll see. It's not as long as some fans think, and I think when he does come back, him having that chip on his shoulder is going to benefit you guys tremendously. So we'll see what happens there. But we'll go with Portland for the sake of this debate. All right, moving into the next matchup: Sporting Kansas City taking on the Quakes. This might be a quick one. I don't even think we need to reel off how bad San Jose has been to start 2024. I'm back in KC in this one. I think it looked decent against LAFC, even in the 0-0 draw. If you look at scorelines, look kind of like a snooze fest, but there were chances on both sides that just weren't taken advantage of. I think SKC at home in the Midwest, taking San Jose out of their comfort zone, if that even exists at this point in time because they're so bad right now. I'm going to take SKC. I'm not going to think about it.
Their comfort zone is in that bad spot. All right. That's what San Jose, that's what they will always be used to, mediocrity. Yeah. Their time was back then, way back then. So, yeah. I'm gonna take Sporting Kansas City on this one.
Their back then was when they were the Dynamo.
Yeah, exactly. On the Houston days. Yeah.
We'll take SKC 1-0. It's just Pulido 1-0.
Yeah, Pulido 1-0. Interesting.
Pulido.
Hector.
The low is gonna be 40 degrees and the high is 66. But obviously now this is nighttime, so it's gonna be around there in the 40s.
Sounds cold.
So yeah, if you're a NorCal bro, you're not gonna it's not gonna bode well for you, man. I'm sorry, Jeremy Obobisi. I don't know what happened for you, bro. I just don't.
No, he fell off. What happened?
What a howler from Galese. Jesus.
No.
Oh, no.
But this is good. That means Orlando can now focus on the season.
Hector trying to save face for the take. Okay, hey, so
it's back on. It's back on.
Do you think that's it, by the way? Well, let's save that for the Orlando piece. We'll talk about it. I wonder if that's it, and that's what's plaguing them so early this season. Because, dude, they were supposed to be so good.
I think that's a valid argument for a lot of these teams.
Yeah,
it's just wild to me that they're this bad this early. But I mean, KC proved everybody wrong last season. So
Okay, so I was seeing this argument. They were talking about like, oh, like maybe MLS should move to like the European schedule and then just have
No.
a break, have a
No.
break from December
No.
to like February. And
People
like
who say that
restart.
have never been to Vancouver, Chicago, Minnesota. They've never
But
been to
what
any
they
of
were
these
saying
cities.
was take a break in between like the December and February month, and then just run the whole table like the long
So
a
this
long
is my
season
moronic. If I could run MLS for a day,
for a day,
I
no,
would
for a whole
honestly,
season.
I would follow the Apertura Clausura format for MLS.
Make
I
it
mean,
make
I
it
see
make it
working, but at
make
the
it
same
two
time,
short tournaments. Make it two instead of one long elongated.
Yeah, but like,
you're off in summer and you're off in the winter.
Or
I
you
mean, it
don't
could
come back
work.
till July. Gives you a month or so to run Leagues Cup if you really want to do that. I guess it could work.
At least Cup could be like
just
what, a
more
kickoff
teams. That's
tournament
it.
for the
Like
second.
the only thing is
Yeah.
more teams. I see Hector's idea like panning out.
It
But-
could. It could.
But how would you do the playoff format then? Would it be like would you have to limit it down to the four
Yeah,
teams from each
single
conference?
No, single elimination. You probably just
Single
take
elimination.
away the multiple games, and it's just single elimination.
Yeah,
So would you go back to
games.
one long table? We'll do the first.
I mean,
How would you
could
do
do
that?
it with the Eastern Conference because I mean that's basically a Liga MX's table is the
Maybe this is a good this is a good talking point for another day. Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe-
well, I'm saying you can also be
but
like
Hector is
supporter
cooking.
shield, right? Like,
Hector's stupid drunk ideas for MLS.
Hey, you're cooking though.
No.
You're cooking.
Yeah.
Listen. You're low key
There's something
cooking.
there.
Like there's something here. Maybe this could be a talking point. We come back to it. We
hell yeah.
we express
How we would change MLS for the
MLS.
better.
That
I'm
that
totally
sounds like
down.
a good video. Write that down.
I will
Yeah,
I will wear a
100%.
suit. I will wear a suit and provide a PowerPoint presentation.
Commissioner
Listen.
Flores, you have the floor by all means.
Listen,
sir. All right.
I'll bring my dress coat that day. We'll all look
Hell
spooky
yeah.
that day. We'll all dress up.
I'm down. I'll I don't know. I'll Photoshop it onto me somehow because I'm not wearing it. But we'll see. All right. Moving into the next matchup, Minnesota versus LAFC. This one's tough. This one's very tough. I think if anyone who's an MLS casual just kind of just maybe started watching MLS last couple seasons, thinks LAFC is the shit, which they kind of are to an extent. But I think it's a trap game for them, for those fans. To be honest, bro, I think Minnesota's got a very strong case for taking this one at home. I
Weather
really do.
update. It is going to be 32 degrees the lowest, and the high is going to be 46.
Yeah, it's Minnesota United.
We know LAFC can't do good in the cold.
They can't handle those Starry Night kits, bro. Let's be real. I think that coming off of what was it, Minnesota? They beat Orlando, right? Crazy game, 3-2. LAFC drew 0-0 Sporting Kansas City. Something to keep in mind, right? The last time these two teams played, it was a shellacking. It was LAFC 5-1, but just a very different version of Minnesota United back then, last season. So they're still undefeated. I have to back Minnesota United. I think that they're just the more informed team.
I think you said it best yesterday. This is a trap game for LAFC.
Yeah.
I think that this is a game where they're away and it favors Minnesota a lot. But Minnesota's been playing really well. I think we need to give them their flowers a little bit. Without a manager, now they have a manager, so I feel like they use a similar approach to what they've been using, what's been successful. So that's good. So I don't know. I tend to agree with you. I feel like Minnesota win this 1-0.
I mean, you guys say trap game for LAFC. Why is it a trap game this season for them? Why is it not a trap game for Minnesota? Because LAFC, from what I've been watching them, they only beat Seattle 2-1, and that was a week in Seattle.
It's the aura of LAFC, which makes this more of a trap game for them than it does for Minnesota. That's what it is for me.
I don't know how LAFC is formed. That's the thing as well too.
It's because you're a Galaxy fan, bro. Like
I'm still LAFC. It's LAFC. That's the kind of. It's Inter Miami. That's like literally the same.
It's the West. It's the West.
Like the rival. I'm saying it like how it is. LAFC has not been cooking this season like how they usually do. If they did, then I would consider it a trap game. But I'm still
it's a trap game because of just how good they've been, bro. Like LAFC last season, the season before, like they didn't lose too many. I mean,
listen, I know what's going on with LAFC. They're missing the boy Carlitos Vela. That's what they're missing.
God, bro.
Listen,
he wasn't even relevant last season. There's no way that's
last season. Okay, but in the past,
vibe.
Listen, it's the aura that he brings to this team.
The only aura he brings is 9 to 5. He does not work outside of those hours. That's pretty much it, bro. He's there to clock in and clock out. Nothing else.
Listen,
there's no post-game Modelos for the
listen. All I'm saying is let it snow in Minnesota so that way they could get thrashed 3-0 again.
I don't think that needs to happen. I think not 3-0, but I think Minnesota could win just with how good they've been playing.
Minnesota could win. Like that's not a doubt in anybody's mind.
Okay. going back to the Carlos Vela take, do you think
Oh
that
my God, bro.
no, not to go too far, but
Okay.
do you think that they will end up kind of going back if they continue to struggle like this? You think they'll like be like, hey, like you interested in
No.
to play for us?
No,
You don't think so? You think it's sailed?
I think it's done. I think it's
San Jose was taking a look.
San Jose will take a look at me, in all honesty. Bro. There's no way that Vela's going back to this team. There's nothing he really offer them. Bogusz, Tillman, and Bouanga, unless they start, maybe they start losing players to injury. But even then, I got to believe that they have younger prospects on their radar. I don't know.
That's a club legend, though.
Can we call him that?
Yeah.
Sporting director.
First captain.
Can you call him that? Is that it? Oh,
Yeah,
LAFC fans, let us know in the comments down below, bro. Let us know in the comments down below.
Wait.
A lot of fans throw legend around very loosely. Okay.
Okay, but a guy that started off, he
He
was the first player for that club. He won a title with that club. He also won a golden boot with that club. You mean he's not a club legend?
The team is as well. Think how young the team is as well. And you got to think about it. Vela's the only one that's been doing shit here.
Oh, Bouanga now, but he's got to be their club legend. Come on.
I think Vela's over.
Vela, yes.
But with that said, that's fine.
That is insane.
This is coming from a Galaxy fan, by the way. This is coming from a Galaxy fan. Vela is their legend, and that's the only one.
Yeah, you can. That's respectful. Put some respect on that name.
Let us know down below. Again, I think like an icon, sure, 100%. Legend. When you think about like his name transcending generations and being talked about by the next generations of fans to come and learn about LAFC,
bro, Jose,
I just don't know.
LAFC fans. LAFC fans will definitely. Your Theo's gonna pop open a Modelo and is gonna tell you the story of
Let me tell you the story.
He's gonna be like, hey, what was his name, Mijo? What was his name? I can't fucking remember.
He never played for La Selección. What's his name?
Yeah. What's his name?
That guy.
Yeah. He stood out in MLS, but really not not really for a couple seasons, maybe. Legend's a strong word.
You're making fun of. Listen, bro. All I'm gonna say is this: if Vela signs for San Jose and they somehow get Griezmann to go to San Jose, that'd be the craziest move. I would think that's crazy.
That'd be the craziest move for them to shit the bed. How about that?
he might that contract when it's presented to Griezmann might get laughed out of the room. There's no fucking way he's joining the Quakes, bro. Ain't no way Griezmann's being coached by Luchi Gonzalez. There's no way, bro.
Bro, it's Vela though. They're friends. Like, come on.
Fair.
That's like Mbappe going to Cadiz, bro. Come on, be serious.
Mbappe going to Cadiz is crazy.
All right, I think we're all in favor here. I don't hear any opposition to the take of Minnesota United winning this game. Hector, you backed LAFC or you backed Minnesota?
I'm with Minnesota. I picked Minnesota.
Let us know.
All in majority. I'm just really curious. Anybody who's in the comments, let us know, especially if you're an LAFC fan, do you consider Carlos Vela to be an LAFC legend? And think of what the word legend means. I want you to go look it up in the dictionary and then apply that to how you think about this.
Okay, maybe not legend. Icon.
Go look it up, bro. Everyone has an iPhone. Everyone on the internet.
Okay, I'm not backing out. I'm taking it a step further. Icon.
Yeah, that's fine. Icon to me is not the same as legend. Like to me, here's the difference. To me, Neymar is a Barcelona icon, not a Barcelona legend. There's a difference.
Fair.
That's
a fair argument. That's a fair argument.
That's how I would look at this. So like that's how I think. Like Vela was insanely good for LAFC, yes, but I have to think that over time there will be players that will phase him out.
So you're going right. I'm just saying. So Bouanga will phase him out. Bouanga will phase him out.
Bouanga, tell you what, if Bouanga somehow manages to, like, if they would have won Triple C last year against Leon,
listen, but they were never going to win Triple C. We just made
that would have phased Vela out, 100%. That would have phased Vela out, 1,000%.
If Bouanga would have done something in that final, but ain't nothing.
I know, but I'm saying again, they relied on him, not their icon Vela. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that he's had a good career, but his most memorable stint was Real Sociedad. Plain and simple. I don't think LAFC.
Yeah, that's where he played the best. That's where he played the best.
Yeah. All right. Moving on from the Vela talk, let's go into Nashville versus Charlotte. Nashville, I mean, look, they've bottled 2 straight 2-0s up to this point. Got very lucky against the Galaxy not to concede a third or maybe even a fourth had Galaxy really kind of turned on the scoring boot, so to speak, in that second half. Jovic could have done it. The missed PK opportunities after that, Galaxy could have done so. Nashville got lucky. Whereas Charlotte, and I can't remember how Charlotte performed. They lost, right? Toronto, 1-0. So Dean Smith has this team playing slightly better defensively. Henny Mukhtar is back now. He's not injured anymore. Maybe there's something here at Geodis Park for Nashville, right? At home to take this one, right, over Charlotte. But this could be, in all honesty, boys, this could be Snooze Fest of the week. This really could be. Like it could be a 0-0, 1-1, some shit like. I mean, let's be honest. If it's a Snooze Fest, it's probably 0-0. So I'm going to take a draw on this one. I'm not really sure how this all goes down. These two teams drew the last time they played 1-1 back in October. How do you guys see it?
I'm also going to go with the Snooze Fest. The lows are 44 degrees and the high is a very nice 69.
Hey,
Nashville's nice time of year.
And but I mean, this is also very closely related to North Carolina weather. I think you could say Tennessee and North Carolina very close in the same
Very
proximity.
similar, very
But there'll be a crowd factor. I know there's a crowd factor in Charlotte too. Don't get me wrong, but I still think that the home team does prevail more often than not in MLS, and that stadium does turn out, despite how bad Nashville is sometimes, and can't score goals. Like they still have a very adamant fan base.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Snooze Fest 0-0.
Yeah, same.
No.
Honda.
it depends how they face Miami, though. Literally, we said 0-0 versus LA Galaxy, or LA Galaxy would win 2-0 just because of how Nashville
You think
plays.
Charlotte have enough
But
to
they
score a goal?
scored
Is my
2-2.
question. Yeah, but you think
Bro,
Charlotte?
if they turn it up against Inter Miami, like, okay, they could lose. But if they play good against Inter Miami, you don't think they're going to get the confidence to actually score on
Nope.
Charlotte?
Nope.
It's going to be a unanimous draw, but I still think Nashville could win it. I'm still going to go with the 0-0, like you guys said, but don't sleep on Nashville, like, when they're on.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You mean when Hanny Mukhtar's on?
Yeah, when he's on. And he's supposed to have some help, man. Honda, talk to your boy Tyler Boyd, bro. I don't know what the hell's going on
Tyler
with him.
Boyd is
Nah,
on
you know what? He
Boyd.
can stay shut up, bro. Like, honestly, like, you know,
Paulby forgot about him. He's like, you know what? You stay over there, bro. Yeah, we'll see
we
what
got
happens.
Gabriel Peck and we got Payne, so we're good.
I mean,
Gabriel
Paintswell's been
Peckman.
revolutionary, man, in all honesty. I mean, when you think about who they have injured too right now, Walker Zimmerman's still nursing a knee injury. But everybody else seems to be back. Leal is out too, but everyone else seems to be back for Nashville. So I'm expecting, them to show up a little bit, but they just haven't been convincing so far. All right, let's move on to our final three games. The first one, LA Galaxy taking on St. Louis. This is very strong banger potential. Like, this could be the match of the week to watch. I know we said that about Cincinnati and DC last week. It turned out to be a 0-0. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I think Galaxy at home, right, taking on St. Louis. St. Louis did concede 2 set pieces kind of to Austin FC, right? They drew 2-2. Both goals from Austin came on center back scoring, right? So it wasn't a lot of forward play. They only had 5 shots total, only 2 on target. St. Louis kind of made it rain. So they will have something to say, I think, in this game. I just think right now with the form Galaxy are in, and you saw it against Nashville, they didn't start off well, but when they want to turn it on, they turn it on. And they can create opportunities seemingly out of nowhere. So I don't know, man. I think at home, Galaxy look like the favorite. I mean, even with St. Louis being as good as they are on paper and how good they were last season, I think they take this one. How do you guys feel?
Galaxy 2-0. I'm thinking a 2-0 Galaxy. I feel like I really like what Galaxy's doing. I feel like there's a lot that Nashville game. It's a one-off. It'll happen, but they proved to be able to come back into that game. So I don't know. I feel like they'll use that. They'll bounce back. I'm not counting them out just yet. I feel like they're better offensively than St. Louis is, and I feel like they've shown a lot more this season than St. Louis. So I'll take Galaxy 2-0.
Yeah, Hector.
So the weather in Carson, California, is the lows is 48 degrees and the high is 72. So typical California weather.
Yes, sir.
So Cali Bros, you guys are there. No, I don't, bro. LA Galaxy is just like, it's bizarre to me because this is like, they're not making like LA Galaxy type signings. Like it's not, it's not a Satan or a Chicharito or a Beckham, kind of, they're not doing
flashy.
that. It's working.
Mm-hmm.
It's working. And I think that's something that's like a positive. Kind of one of the things that I actually said on Instagram FC is like, when the LA teams are good, man, it's good for the league. Mm-hmm. So it's great to see them being competitive again, be in the mix, because I mean, we need a real evil empire. For as long as it was the LA Galaxy, and they're the only ones really good at it. But they're playing this whole different role, so I can't really hate them right now. They're like it was
easier to hate them when they had Donovan, to be honest, bro. When they landed Donovan, they were easily like the evil empire, 100%. All right, Honda, your boys. I imagine this is a dub straight through, right?
Yeah, this is a dub straight through. And you know what? LA Galaxy, as long as they don't play how they did in the first half and Payne still doesn't cut it into his own box to make a penalty, we're good. But yeah, as long as Payne still could churn up, as long as like our players are solid in the defense, like how we usually are, we're winning this. And I don't see St. Louis scoring. But St. Louis, don't get it twisted, right? St. Louis can pop out of nowhere and just beat us 1-0. Because that's like a St. Louis type thing to do.
That'd be a
Joao
St. Louis
Klaus
thing
to
as
the
well.
end of a header or something. Like it always
Yeah.
ends up that way. I feel like they just find it. So, but I think Galaxy will win. St. Louis will score. Don't get me wrong. I in my opinion, but I think Galaxy will still pull it out. So we'll see what happens. All right, move on to the next pick. Last two games here, boys. First one, New England versus Cincinnati. The Reds are down bad. They're basically one of the only two teams in all of Major League Soccer who have conceded as many goals as they have, 8 in total. The only other one is Hector's MLS Cup champion pick, Orlando City. Those two teams have just gotten dunked on to start the season. So with that said, last week against Atlanta, the dunking continued. It was 4-1. Giakoumakis absolutely had a coming out party. John, that's what a coming out party looks like. I think, man, there's no way to really. I don't think there's any way anybody in all of Major League Soccer could actually pick the Revs, in my opinion, right now with how they're playing against any team. I don't see it. Like Vrione's not doing anything up top. If he's not scoring, which he's not, he's getting red cards. Carl's heel runs everything, but they still can't get enough to meaningfully convert chances. I don't know, man. Cincy, even on the road with the experience they have in that roster, I back them. I fully back them in this game. They should win this. What do you guys think?
I think my prediction on the Revs is coming to fruition. I think that I wasn't wrong with what I said. A lot of you guys,
John gets this season.
A lot of you guys have doubted me with what I was saying about the Revs, but I've been proven right. I still think this trend is going to continue. I feel like Cincinnati is a stronger team. They're more of a unit. I feel like this New England team still hasn't really figured it out up front. I know that they've been missing their strikers, so that'll hurt them. But again, it's to their own demise. Like no one told you to go get a red card in the first half. Like, I mean, realistically, that's just how it goes. So I think this Cincinnati team's a little bit more complete. And yeah, they're not the Cincinnati team that we saw last year, the Supporters' Shield winner, but they're still strong enough to beat this New England side. I don't really trust them, so I'm taking Cincinnati.
Same. Hector?
It's gonna be 37. The low's gonna be 37. Highs are 54.
Well, that's not bad.
So it's not bad.
40 degrees probably somewhere in there. Yeah.
You know, I'm a feel for the person that has to throw that box out.
That crate, the tea crate. Yeah.
The tea crate. You know, great tradition. One of the best traditions I've ever seen in my life. I'm motivated. You know, I'm motivated. I want to go give you guys 3 points.
Yeah, not the spike hammering or the lumber sawing, but the tea crate throw. Hell yeah.
Nothing beats like throwing a box onto a grass.
Facts, bro. Facts.
Right.
Yeah, I think we're all collectively there. I think Revs, until these guys prove us otherwise, they are the Quakes of the East, man. They're just.
Let's see who's going to score 1 goal, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like we all know.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati should take this one. So we'll see what happens there. Okay. But we all have Cincinnati moving forward. All right, boys. Last matchup, and it's this one. It has some banger potential. Like it's got some, right? Because it is a rivalry, technically a derby. I think I've heard we talked about it yesterday, right? Having some Orlando City fans feel like it's not that big of a rivalry, but let's be real. Atlanta United gets up for this one. If AJ was here, he would echo that sentiment. They're going to be at the Mercedes-Benz. Giakoumakis and Almada are coming off of a rampant 4-1 victory, and then Orlando finding a way to kind of choke that game against Minnesota. It was right. Like they found a way to Maguire carried them to being relevant in that game, and they still found a way to lose it. So I don't know, man. Orlando is getting scored on a lot. If they can't stop Giakoumakis in this one, I thought it could be close, but it really could be just another 3-1, 4-1 if they can't find a way to contain him. And right now, that man is hitting some interesting run of form. How do you guys? We'll start with Honda this time. Honda, how do you see this one netting out?
Listen, if Rodrigo Flego plays, right, Giakoumakis is going to bring out a schlong and he's going to destroy Orlando City. All right, but
slap in the face.
If Brekalo plays, it's going to be much harder than Atlanta anticipated, and they're going to win. But it's going to be very difficult for them.
Yeah,
Atlanta wins either way.
Yeah, I think Atlanta wins this game too. Hector, how do you feel about this? Weather doesn't even matter for this one.
Weather doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter this
one. Look, they're losing right now 2-1 to Tigres. So
yeah, they scored a goal off a penalty. That looks like the only way that they can score goals.
Had to throw that in there. Had to throw that in there.
The vibes are there. Wait, no, this isn't Orlando. The vibes are clearly there. They got the goal right. No, I'm going with Atlanta.
Give me Atlanta, and I'll tell you why. I'm watching them play right now against Tigres. It feels like they're really pushing for the CCC, you know. But against Tigres, I don't know if you should be pushing for the CCC now. Granted, they conceded a penalty, which led to their second goal conceded in this game. But they also let Marcelo Flores score. a goal that he should not have had. Which I mean, I'm happy for the guy, it's my boy, but you know, I don't see it with Orlando. Orlando's struggling a lot this season defensively.
Yeah.
Offensively, they still haven't figured it out. I don't know. I think Atlanta's more they have it going. They Gakumakis and Almada have some sort of a partnership going up. We talked about it yesterday. I think Gakumakis will end up being the leading goal scorer this season. But he needs to take advantage of as long as Almada is there to continue feeding him decent balls that he can latch onto, and that is what's going to determine this game. And I feel like Atlanta are going to comfortably win this game too now.
Yeah, it should be. It could be easily higher than that, though, in my opinion. It just depends on like what version of Orlando City shows up. But the fall off from grace from Orlando City's perspective is wild. Still, like in this, I don't know, man. They're literally down there at the bottom with NYCFC and New England. They are, interestingly enough, though, tied with Chicago Fire at one point in the table.
Listen, but we look better than them. We look better than them, and they have a better roster than we do.
Hey, game is game, bro. Y'all are tied as far as things are considered. So, anyway, with that said, those are all of our matchups. Before we conclude, let's quickly go through Snooze Fest of the week and our game of the week. I think Snooze Fest, my nominee. If I had to be real about this one, bro, I mean, I think it's going to be Nashville, Charlotte. I was really inclined to say Sporting Kansas City versus San Jose, but if SKC runs up the score, I mean, goals are goals. Like, I think that's totally fine. So, I think Nashville and Charlotte is my pick. I don't know what you guys feel about that.
I do not disagree. I feel like there's not going to be no firepower in that.
Yeah.
Snooze Fest.
Nashville,
Charlotte.
But it's going to be Nashville, Charlotte anyways. But I have both of those games. Like SKC, this is early on. If it were later on SKC, then I'm like, yeah, you're destroying San Jose. But nah.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. All right, and then finally, match of the week. I think the banger. Look, Orlando's going to have a ton of goals. Don't get me wrong, but I really think it goes to the West Coast. I think Galaxy taking on St. Louis is the matchup none of us thought it was going to be entering the season, right? And now you look at it, these could be like by the end of the season, two powerhouse teams, two potentially top 5 teams in the West potentially by the end of 2024. So. There should be goals in this. I expect LA Galaxy to keep the offense moving, and I think St. Louis will do their best to keep up with them, and they might, right? So I'm hoping this is not DC United and Cincinnati reincarnated. But
hopefully they could counterattack, and I mean, hopefully there's goals in this game.
Give me Chicago-Montreal as the game of the week. Just for personal sakes. Just for personal sakes because of the bet.
The agenda. Of the bet. Yeah, I'm in for that one. That is, trust me, bro. The group chat is going to be on fire this weekend, man. I can't wait. I think it's going to be solid, man. We'll have some updates on the next episode of Wake Up MLS for everybody to tune into. But Hector, what was yours, by the way? Game of the week.
I'm gonna say DC United Inter Miami. I feel that Messi is going to play in that game. I don't expect to see Suarez, but I do think that it's going to be a very good matchup between these two teams, and very early to see where these two teams gauge against each other, because I think we will see these two teams face off later on the year.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'd be really interesting, and DC United looks like a completely different version of themselves under Big Troy. So we'll see how everything works out. But either way, guys, that is our show. A lot of great matchups, as you guys heard, from all of us here at MLS. That was 3 different games, 3 or 4 different games in terms of like the match of the week, the Snooze Fest. There's always one every week, and it kind of is what it is. But a lot of storylines developing in Major League Soccer. These are our Match Day 5 predictions. Whether you agree or disagree, go ahead and like the video down below, subscribe to the channel, and let us know down in the comments, specifically for Chicago-Montreal, who you guys having. I got a feeling that John's going to eat his words, not just this weekend, but potentially the rest of the season. We'll see what the fans have to say. But anyway,
it's just because I'm cursed. I think it's what it is.
Yeah. Curse is a good word for it. But either way, from everybody here at Week of MLS, my name's Jose. That's Hector. That's John. That's Honda. We'll catch you guys next time.